This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Wednesday morning. Tune is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course Sirius XM channel 158. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin in the hizzy.
Good morning.
And by the hizzy, I mean Circa Resort Casino.
That's right.
Downtown Las Vegas. What's happening, man? You good?
I'm good. It's cold in the studio today, though.
Oh, it is frigid.
Colder than wherever Fred Kerr is going to send us a picture from. I'll tell you that.
I think it's perfect. I don't notice the climate in here. You're a very climate sensitive young man.
I jacked up the heater, and it's like, I don't know why we have the most high-powered air conditioning system in the world in the studio. It's nice.
Everybody send their thoughtful notes to Kelly. He's struggling this morning with the temperature. On today's show, Will Hill will join us here with all of his bets momentarily, NFL and beyond. Greg Peterson, the Fab Five from Greg Peterson, his Fab Five picks in college basketball. He's got about 47 of them, but we just reduce it to 5.
Yes.
All the time we have 4. It's 5. Sia Najad a little later on to talk American Express golf with us as well, get his thoughts on both championship games. Sia from the DMV, Nick Whalen from RotoWire on championship weekend, and some NBA thoughts from him as well. And then Warren Sharp on championship weekend. Tade Wishnev, co-host of the Megapod. He'll have some thoughts to share. He has a college basketball theory that some folks might be interested in. It's just a theory.
Like it, okay.
He's spitballing something.
Yeah.
Spitballing something. As the, it hasn't been as big of a boon for him in a recent week or two. So he says some thoughts have entered his mind. So we'll talk about that with him later. We'll do more tennis props. By the way, 0-2 on the official register yesterday in tennis. Sorry they didn't get up on the website. Bill told me he had napped in the afternoon, and he's my white glove service, so he didn't get up in time. So you probably only went 0-1, so good in that case. Not many. I didn't really like that much yesterday. We'll have back at it today for the second round, but we will do some tennis props. People seem to like the tennis props yesterday, so we will do some more of those today later on the show. This is from Diana Rossini, Kelly. As the coaching carousel continues, the Eagles conducting their offensive coordinator search with the understanding that Brian Daboll wants the Bills' head coaching job. If he doesn't land that, Daboll's expected to wind up in Tennessee as the offensive coordinator for Cam Ward and the Titans. Or I guess for Robert Saleh and the Titans is what one would say.
Quite a gap between those jobs, but
So hold on, let me interpret that tweet. So Eagles are like, okay, cool, we get it. If you get the Bills' head coaching job, we totally understand. But what is that last part? Is like, you're expected to wind up in Tennessee. So what are we doing here?
It sounds like Rossini's saying that he's narrowed it down between the Buffalo Bills head coaching job or the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator job, which, like I just said, quite the gap between those two jobs.
Yeah.
This is on the heels this morning. Rossini and Schefter reporting Bills requested a head coach interview with Brian Daboll, so that's why we are seeing him there.
Brian Daboll, the former OC with the Buffalo Bills. By the way, the beauty of this stuff now is you can bet on all of this, right? We're not just some sports talking heads talking about coaching. You can bet on this stuff at Kalshi, prediction market. Brian Daboll to be let's talk about the Buffalo Bills first. Buffalo Bills next head coaching odds. Brian Daboll is your short shot at plus 222, Kelly. There's also a no price, by the way, if you'd like to play it that way. Daboll, who had success there as the OC, then not so much as the Giants head coach. And let me just say this. I, personally, I wouldn't hire the guy. I saw enough of him on that Hard Knocks preseason one to know he's not my type of guy. A little too arrogant for your accomplishments, my friend.
It's tough. I don't know where they're going to go with this search, but like if you've got Josh Allen yelling at ownership that I want that guy back,
that's all that matters.
It's probably all that matters, and I mean, Gil, I think that's the only reason we're even talking about him right now, anyways, is because that's what is happening behind the scenes. But man, if you're the Bills ownership, you got to think more about just that, right? Than just that.
One would think.
The one that the name on here, I don't know if you've heard this, like the Davis Webb stuff the past few days.
So Davis Webb is the offensive passing game coordinator and quarterbacks coach for the Denver Broncos. Not the offensive coordinator, but what I just said, that mouthful. Offensive passing game coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Davis Webb is the fourth shot to be the Bills' next head coach at plus 488. In between Daboll and Webb is Clint Kubiak. And these guys, it's really amazing because the remaining, 8 vacancies that we still have? No, 7 vacancies.
7? Yeah.
7 vacancies now that that Saleh is now with the Titans. Oh, no, it's 6 because we also had the Dolphins fill theirs, right? So, in addition to the first 2 going. So, we have 6 vacancies still, but you'll see the same names. Clint Kubiak is the second short shot here, is the second shot at the Bills head coaching job at plus 284. Kubiak, the Seattle offensive coordinator, and then Joe Brady at plus 334, Joe Brady, the current Buffalo OC.
Which is another fascinating one, right? Because he was the first question that, I kind of had when we saw Sean McDermott was getting canned. It was like, well, what about Joe Brady? Or what does that mean for him? Are you ready to elevate him and kick McDermott out?
Joe Brady, who was with LSU during the spectacular 2019 LSU championship run with Joe Burrow. He then immediately got the OC job with the Carolina Panthers. Didn't go so well there.
I was just trying to remember. Panthers, yeah.
And then he sort of had to work his way back up in Buffalo. And he's been there in different roles. Most recently, of course, the offensive coordinator role. But he's behind Daboll and Kubiak.
I just don't know. I guess that's a little bit where Daboll makes sense, though, because if I don't know if a new coach is coming in, I don't know what that says about the future of Joe Brady.
Right.
That you're going to be OC for another head coach?
Well, especially because Brian Daboll's on his side of the ball.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Daboll could make sense, and Joe Brady gets out of town.
Terry Pegula, by the way, if you were wondering about why did the Buffalo Bills decide to go away from Sean McDermott, Terry Pegula, owner of the Buffalo Bills and Buffalo Sabres, and most famously father of top 5 player in the world, Jesse Pegula, has to be said. Terry Pegula, my decision was based on the game in Denver. That's it. That's what he said. He said what happened in Denver, he had seen enough. So Terry Pegula moved on. You know what is an interesting question, if I may? I know I joke about I'm not joking, but I always throw Jesse Pegula in there, right? One of the top 5 women's tennis players in the world. But Jesse Pegula recently had a her coach change in tennis. Mm-hmm. I wonder if there wasn't some inspiration from that, where she was able to sort of elevate with a coaching change, she had been with a coach for a very long time, and then she sort of cracked through a glass ceiling. I do wonder if someone would ask him that, if that inspired him at all. But he says it's the Denver game.
So that tweet, it looks like they got their end-of-season press conference going on right now.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fascinating.
We have any other teams here, by the way?
Yeah, we do. I will update these real quick because Daboll being in the news this morning, this price is crashing, plus 127 for Brian Daboll.
Sounds like it could be a done deal. By the way, all these prices at Kalshi are created not by an odds maker, but by actual bets made. So typically, inside information will rule the day on most of these, though it sure didn't when it came to who's going to make the CFP playoff. Tell you that. Baltimore Ravens' next head coaching odds. Jesse Minter is your favorite at minus 195. This feels like does you feel like it's a done deal here in Baltimore?
So this is where we've been doing all these Kalshi markets, right? We started to hear this last night. I saw a steam coming in on Minter. I'm like, oh man, this is going to get announced soon. I'm like, God, I'm so glad I put a bet in on him like a month ago when we first talked about this.
Good for you. Jesse Minter.
Nope, forgot to do it, Gil.
Oh, you did?
When we first talked about this market, I was like, Minter would make a lot of sense.
Apparently not so good for you. Jesse Minter at minus 195. Jesse Minter, the Chargers defensive coordinator, followed by, again, some of the usual suspects. Clint Kubiak, once again, the Seattle OC. A distant second at plus 566, yes. Anthony Weaver, the Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator, and Joe Brady, the aforementioned, over 13-1 in both cases for the Ravens job. By the way, if you went further down the Ravens list past Minter, Kubiak, Weaver, and Brady, then you get into names like Nathan Shieldhouse, who's the Rams passing game coordinator. Sean McDermott, you know him.
19-1.
Former head coach Buffalo Bills. Brian Flores, you're wondering, where's Brian Flores? Minnesota defensive coordinator.
32.
And then Chris Shula, the Rams defensive coordinator.
24.
There you go. I mean, it's just the usual suspects on all of these.
I think this is the one.
Sounds done.
Minter to Ravens has made the most sense to me since we knew Harbaugh was gone. I mean, Minter was there before. This is kind of where he's gotten all his NFL flowers.
Although you're going from John Harbaugh to a Jim Harbaugh guy.
So that was the only but, right? Is that weird? Is that somehow weird? But I don't think
Don't you want to just break out of that? if you're Bisciotti?
I think Jesse Minter will have the opportunity to make a name for himself.
Well, I'm sure he would, but in Bisciotti's head, does that creep in?
I'm sure it has. I'm sure it has. I don't think it's going to matter, though. I don't think you pass up on a good coach just because of that.
By the way, leading candidate for the Arizona Cardinals job, which is a job I have thought 3 seconds about the entire time.
Yeah, I did not look up odds for all of these. Yes, Gil.
is Vance Joseph. Vance Joseph is like a big favorite to be the next Arizona Cardinals head coach. He's the Denver defensive coordinator. So,
and I'd hate to say it, that checks out, though, right? Yeah, Vance Joseph plus 108 right now.
Okay, so not a big favorite, plus 108. He's a short shot. My bad.
It's a short shot.
Still. Yeah. So 6 of these jobs still available, 10 changing hands this year. And the only other thing we heard yesterday is you're wondering about Mike McDaniel, the former Miami Dolphins head coach who got ousted this year. Mike McDaniel appears to be set to take the offensive coordinator job with the Chargers.
Yeah.
So he's told other teams that he had head coaching interviews with, hey, I'm not in this anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess that's still a report, but yeah, Chargers expected to hire Mike McDaniel's new offensive coordinator. I like
good
it.
For him.
Yeah. I think the humility to turn down some of these other head coaching jobs, or humility, or knowing that you're going to get a better one in the future if you take a job like that. I think that's the plan. I think it makes a lot of sense, right? For people like me that have been big critics of Justin Herbert in this offense, is a big opportunity to turn around a very promising quarterback in offense there.
Hey, who's Washington hiring? Oh, it's still Dan Quinn? Oh, great. Anyway, you can bet on all these at a prediction market like Kalshi. Check it out for those interested in betting on such things. Will Hill with all of his bets, NFL and beyond. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network. Coming back.
Laptop or phone, couch or sportsbook, VSiN goes where you go. Wherever you watch VSiN, the experience stays seamless. Live shows, replays, and sports-specific clips all at your fingertips. VSiN Watch puts you in the driver's seat. Available in Roku, Samsung, Amazon, iOS, Android, app stores, or get it direct from the source at VSiN.com. Download VSiN Watch today on your favorite app store and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money, Jeff Seeley is back. Best Bets, American Express kicks off. Sal Pal to break down conference championship games and who he thinks goes to the Super Bowl. Mike Palm with another edition of You Cannot Be Serious. Dan Leberfeld, Jets Whispers, conference title games, Salah to Tennessee, and all the coaching moves thus far. Follow the Money, 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, now SiriusXM Channel 158. Check out the website for all the betting tools and analysis.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on the numbers game, live at Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Majestic downtown Las Vegas. Oh, Kelly. There's Paris, there's Rome, and then there's downtown Las Vegas.
That's right.
In that order. Not necessarily, though. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Judd O'Connor. Can we get three-man weave on again? Little 3-0 early week. Nice way to start.
We get them once a week.
So that's how it goes here. Fred Courier sent his morning weather picture for you. A lot of snow and a lot of tractors trying to push that snow out of there.
Hey, keep up the good work, Fred. You're killing it out there.
19 degrees where he is. Where is he, though?
Yeah, I don't know. Fred, where you at?
Where you at, Freddie?
Buffalo.
He's in Buffalo, 19 degrees. Poke therapy. Now that Dr. Bob is done for the season, can we get Tanner on the show weekly for college hoops? Tanner is Dr. Bob's right-hand man. I'd love to have Tanner on. I don't know what Bob would say. Bob would be like, what do you mean, Gil? You don't want me on? He could come back with that. I don't know. Mike Boreali. Oh, Mike, this is a tweet after. This is. I agree completely. He says, Gil, 2 feet on the table during a meeting with the owner are 2 reasons why I wouldn't hire Daboll. Show some respect no matter how informal the meeting was. 100%. God, Daboll was the worst on that show. Mm-hmm. I was like, bro, how many Super Bowls did you win again? Oh, 0? Hoosier Bear 85. Oh, I see you, Hoosier Bear 85. Hoosier Bear 85 is the guy who kept tweeting about the Bears week after week after week after week after week. I notice he's not acknowledging that now, but he just says, another successful football season. Hoosiers. There you go.
There you go.
And then Mungie says, wish I could get money down on Shula to the Steelers. It seems like Mike Shula will be announced as the next head coach here in Pittsburgh next week. Mike Shula, by the way, at Calci, because we didn't cover the Steelers. Even money with Mike McCarthy and Brian Flores a distant second. There's a Mike McCarthy sighting in the Calci market.
Wish I had audio on this Terry Pagula press conference, apparently. This is...
big deal, huh? He's trending.
Bills owner Terry Pagula on Keon Coleman.
Oh, man.
Yeah, quotes about active players on the team. Quote, the coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. That was Brandon being a team player and taking advice from his coaching staff.
Wait, say that again? What'd he say?
Quote, the coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. That was Brandon Beane being a team player and taking advice of his coaching staff.
So he is really... the theme of this is...
Keon sucks, but it's not our fault.
Well, no. The reports are that Sean McDermott was... that Terry Pagula was rubbed wrong by the fact that Sean McDermott blamed his roster for a lot of their not getting to where they needed to get to, meeting the Super Bowl. And that did not sit well with Terry Pagula. Now it seems like he's going full force PR against Sean McDermott. There's the quote from Adam Schefter. Terry Pagula saying the Buffalo's coaching staff pushed to draft Keon Coleman, and Brandon Pete supported it. By the way, Keon Coleman must be listening to this, being like, hey, I'm right here, guys.
What the heck is going on around here?
Pagula doesn't think it's fair for that pick to be pinned on Bean. Wow. Good times in Buffalo. And Jesse Pagula, when she won the other day in the camera, she wrote, it was a catch. No, it wasn't, Jesse. I love you, but it wasn't. Will Hill joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on Twitter at @NotThe with 2 E's, not the Will Hill, the host of the Shoulda Bet More podcast. Will, good morning to you, sir.
Gilly, Kelly, what's going on? Yeah, all of this dysfunction with the Bills, and they are as Plinko, a coin flip, a win, a game away from being in the Final Four this weekend, and a puncher's chance against the Patriots. It's amazing how the league works, isn't it?
It's amazing. Well, I don't want to bring this up, but I feel like we should bring this up because sometimes, look, if you bet as much as we do, stuff usually just splashes off us. But every once in a while, right, a nature of a loss, in a bad beat style, I'm trying to think of the circumstances, or let's just go to the circumstance that I'm talking about here is, or you had so much that you were going to win, had Miami won the Natty, that these, and to come as close, that sometimes they stick with you. How are you dealing with this now, a couple days after the fact?
Not great, to be honest. I could sugarcoat it, but I'd be lying. I'm a little better today than I was yesterday, but there is a little bit of, grief is a strong word because it's still sports betting. You have to keep it in perspective. But when you bet these futures, you almost adopt these teams as your favorite team. You have an emotional attachment to the team, the ticket, and you win and die with every loss. And to beat Ohio State New Year's Eve, to get in. I mean, think of all the things you went through. The great win against Ole Miss. A&M was kind of a coin flip game. You win last second. I didn't monetize it. There's some regret there. I figured, let's see how the game starts. I never thought that line should have been 8.5. The fact that it was yards per play, 6.5 to 4.4 sticks with me. You start to go through this stuff where you replay certain plays, you replay the last play, and it's spoiler alert, he's going to throw the interception on the last play no matter how many times I watch it. But
that's right.
It's tough. I wish I handled it differently. Could never get a lead. It was 10-0 Miami, and they just kept kept Miami at arm's length the whole way. So I couldn't get in like under minus 200. I thought I was in good position. Didn't get home. Not much you can do. It's probably going to just take a couple more days. I'm sure by the weekend I'll not have forgotten about it. But time heals all wounds. But it's a tough one. It really is a tough one.
Yeah, just to bring up the fact that even the most veteran bettors, every once in a while something sticks. And just about not to belabor it, but just that last point you made about the spoiler alert pass, because I didn't bring this up yesterday and I should have, which was because we touched upon it in the group chat, which is, by the way, what are you doing throwing that pass? Because even if you get a touchdown there, you've left 50 seconds like on the clock, I think, at that point. 44 seconds left on the clock at that point. So it's still not like the most optimal time to score the touchdown. I know if you get one, you're still thrilled about it. But ideally, you would like to matriculate it a little more at that point, too.
100%. Take your 8, 10, 12 yards. You are moving the ball well. You do want to just, like you said, matriculate, move the chains. You don't need the home run there. You weren't going to run out of time. You were kind of in really good position where if you could have scored 5, 6, 7, I know it's hard to just completely, manipulate, orchestrate when you're going to score. It's hard enough to score, period. And to start to add when you're going to score on it is tough, but you didn't need the home run ball, to your point.
Yeah. All right. Well, we shake it off, or you'll shake it off. We looking forward to the conference championship weekend in the National Football League. Let's start with the AFC game where the Patriots, we've talked about it all week. Every show has on the network for sure. Patriots 5.5-point favorites. I guessed 4 on guessing lines. Do you, like so many, think this is too big of an adjustment?
I do. I mean, Knicks is not Mahomes or Allen or Lamar Jackson. This should not be like a 6-point adjustment. This is just, to me, too big of an adjustment. Doesn't mean those extra points are going to get you home. I mean, New England come out and win the game 30-3, but I do think it's too many points. I'm sure Peyton, who's an egomaniac to begin with, I'm sure he loves nothing more. Not that he wants his quarterback to be hurt. I'm sure he would love nothing more than to go to a Super Bowl or even win a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. I mean, he is probably giddy at this opportunity. I do think it's too many points. I do like Denver. May hasn't played great. First road start. Denver supposedly has a good defense, although they haven't really played good defense in a while. Buffalo kind of shredded them and did whatever they wanted. But running game, pretty good coach and Payton, good defense. I think they have enough to get around Stidham here. I like Denver plus the points. Interesting. This is the first AFC title game. Or I shouldn't say it's the first. Every AFC title game since 2010, I should say, has had either the Chiefs or the Patriots in it. It's really remarkable. I don't know if we'll ever see another run like this where you have 2 teams in the title game for a decade and a half like this.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. By the way, there was a little part of Peyton's brain who's like, if I could just get Sam Ehlinger in there too, I would look even that much better. All right, Rams and Seahawks, which many are calling, and I'm not sure I disagree, the de facto Super Bowl, right? Like whoever wins this game is going to win it all. Seahawks remain a 2.5-point favorite. It is extra juice on the 2.5. Total 47.5.
I took 3 early in the week. I don't think it's a pass post because you can still get some cheaper 3s at like minus 120. To me, these teams are even enough where you just take the points. I know it's not a great spot for the Rams. 3rd straight road game. Seattle is fresh as a daisy. They had a bye, and they basically had a second bye against the 49ers. I just think these two teams are so close where I can't justify laying the points. Trust Stafford more in a big spot over Darnold. I would say I trust and prefer McVay over McDonald in a big spot, but that was a very strange game plan and I thought poor game plan from McVay, and he admitted so much after the game. And even running the ball right before the 2-minute warning, I thought he really got away with one in what was not his best moment. But McVay, Stafford getting points. One game landed on 2, the other game landed on 1. If it weren't for blowing a 16-point lead, this game is in LA. The Rams get the bye. That's how close the Rams were to sweeping this series. So I lean towards taking the points here with the Rams. So I like both dogs here on Sunday.
All right, well, football winding down. Will, what else you betting these days? Have you started baseball research yet or any of that?
Nothing yet for baseball. By the way, hopefully, I don't know if you tailed along, but we talked about this a few times this year, the NFC minus 135 in the Super Bowl. I didn't understand that number. That's looking to be a good one. Maybe you can hedge or middle that one. Maybe I learned my lesson. I'll hedge and take the AFC plus the points come Super Bowl. I do like Texas tonight in college basketball getting the 7.5. Kentucky's had a shaky season. They've won 2 games in a row. They were down 16 in the second half in one and down 17 in the second half in the other. But they shot like 44% from 3 those 2 games. Prior to that, they were shooting 32% from 3. I just think this is a little too many points with Texas, who probably early to start talking bubble teams, where right now they'd be one of the last teams either in or out. This would be a nice little resume boost. I just think the 7.5 is a little heavy here with Texas.
Okay, there it is. Got a little college basketball. No MVP in the Super Bowl. You didn't bet that market at all?
Haven't touched it. I would say another bet that I gave out a couple months ago, group chat, I posted on Twitter, a couple other places. Warriors to miss the playoffs. Can Curry really get them in himself with no Butler? I wonder what their approach to the deadline is. They're still plus money to miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sorry to say that.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, they're old. They're old. What are you going to do? It was one of the great dynasties of our lifetime.
Sure was.
That's for sure. Will Hill, everybody, at Not The Will Hill. Should Have Bet More is the name of the podcast. Thank you, Will.
See you guys.
Coming back on a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big. We go all night. And here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Football meets flavor with VSiN and Omaha Steaks, the official sponsor of tailgating. And right now, when you spend $129, you can score 2 pounds of fully cooked chicken wings plus 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com/VSIN. Don't wait. Spend $129, get 2 pounds of wings, and save 50% site-wide on steaks and more at omahasteaks.com/VSIN. That's omahasteaks.com/VSIN. Minimum purchase required. See site for details. Hey, Bill 80's newsletter today, free for all at VSiN.com. Just got to sign up for it, right? Free newsletter. He links to Oz Perlman's appearance on a numbers game some years ago. How many years ago was that?
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Feels about like 7 years ago.
Oz the Mentalist came on a numbers game. This was before he was big time, right? Came on with us. Now, God forbid he comes on again, right? But he came on the show and did a couple things that to this day still blow my mind. Like I still cannot quite get over what happened that day on a numbers game. Oz the Mentalist, and maybe I will link it out later today. I'm not sure why Bill decided to put it out today on the newsletter. But it's very
apparently, back in November,
yeah,
Oz performed for Rams players and coaches and predicted they would beat the Broncos 23-14 in the Super Bowl.
Oh, man. There you go. Rams 23, Broncos 14 per Oz the Mentalist.
Man, I hope he's wrong. Hope he's wrong again. Still haven't cracked this brain, Oz.
That's right. So when Oz was on with us, he was able to crack my very apparently crackable brain, but not this kid.
That's right. Not me.
And Kelly's mind was a steel trap for Oz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now he's just he just won't accept the invitation back onto the show, you know?
Does he even respond?
Oh, yeah, he responds.
What does he say?
In a very, very polite way.
Yeah.
I'm too big time now.
All right, throw some Hebrew in there and see what happens. Seriously. Let's put out all the stops.
They've been very polite about it, but yeah, I don't know if we're getting those back on anytime soon.
I just want to, thank you to Bill for putting that out on the newsletter. Again, VSiN.com for free sign up there. Bullet Godfrey, I just want to read this one tweet because this does need to be mentioned about the NBA last night. He said, I overheard some bad beat talk, made me think about Kelly's under on San Antonio last night.
Whew.
He said, we should have bet more. Boy, oh boy. You weren't the only one. Carl Sack had the under on that as well.
I had the under and the side. I got Rockets home and the under.
The under was insane.
Yes.
How many points were scored in the first half of that game? Like 130, I think.
It was something like that. I had basically written off as an L already.
Yeah, it was 219 or something like that was the total? Under.
223 and a half.
Oh, I got worse than that.
And they combined for 44 in the third and 45 in the fourth.
That'll do it.
14 whole 36 points in the second half by the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah.
I believe Wemby made one shot in the second half.
Hey, we don't usually do this on a numbers game, and by usually don't do this, what I'm referring to is rely on old things we've done and just throw up the video. But there is one occasion every year where we do this. Do you remember what it is, Kelly? It's when the Baseball Hall of Fame announces who they're inducting into the Hall of Fame. And Jeff Kent, former Met, but prominently more with the Giants, where he was an MVP, was inducted yesterday, along with, of course, the modern-day guys. Andrew Jones was put into the Hall of Fame yesterday. And who was besides Andrew Jones? I'm already forgetting now.
Beltran, right?
Yeah, Carlos Beltran, of course. Carlos Beltran was also put in there as well. And then everyone asked me, hey, what do you think about Jeff Kent being in the Hall of Fame, that kind of thing? Well, we could just pick a year in the old numbers game archive as to what I take this discussion to once again. So we go into the numbers game randomizer. Boop, 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 boop. Let's go to 2022. I saw that Jeff Passan. Can we do a couple minutes on sports radio here? Let's do a little sports radio for a second. Jeff Passan, I saw at ESPN, wrote a Barry Bonds piece this morning, which reminds me that it's Hall of Fame voting day today. Is that what that is today?
Apparently so.
So, if you've listened to this show for years and years and years, every year at this time I have my same rant. If Barry Bonds is not in your Hall of Fame, Major League Baseball, you might as well not have a Hall of Fame. And I saw that Passan wrote something about this morning. I've been saying this for years. This is the deal with Halls of Fame, if I may. We are caretakers of what essentially is a museum for a sport. We pass it on to future generations. It is not our place to be so arrogant to determine for future generations who they even get to see in that Hall of Fame. If you want to put a plaque by Barry Bonds or a plaque by Pete Rose or whatever that explains to future generations what it is that they had as a scandal during their careers, or in the case of Pete Rose, post-career as well, then you're welcome to do that. But to eradicate them from the museum entirely is absolutely the height of arrogance. And these people who vote, the baseball writers or whoever has Hall of Fame votes who keep Barry Lamar Bonds out of baseball, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I could go on, and I think I will, Jeff, just for those who don't understand what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy who at baseball might have been better than Michael Jordan was at basketball. Let me just put it that way. Craig Biggio's in the Hall of Fame. He drove in 1,175 runs in his 20-year career. 1,175. Barry Bonds' home runs alone drove in 1,174. Jeff, you'll stop me when you get tired with all this stuff. You ready? You tired yet? I could go on. 2001 to 2004, Fangraphs WAR. Expos 30.7, Detroit 30.9, Royals 31, Brewers 45.3, New York Mets 46.6, Barry Lamar Bonds 46.6. Oh, there's more. Most intentional walks in baseball history. Bonds 688, second place Pujols 292. 26.3% of Barry Bonds' 12,606 career plate appearances ended with a home run or walk. 26.3%, because they were terrified of him. And when he got the one pitch, he parked it. Anyway, there's tons of these. 49.1% of his career hits, 2,935, by the way, almost 3,000, were extra base hits. Let me just cut to the chase and go to the greatest Barry Bonds stat there is. How about that? In the year 2004, Barry Bonds reached base 376 times. Do you know how many at-bats he had, Jeff? He reached base 376 times. He had 373 at-bats. No player in the history of Major League Baseball ever reached base more times than he had ABs. By the way, you know who second and third on that list is? Barry Lamar Bonds in 2002 and Barry Lamar Bonds in 2003. Do you know who's seventh and 10th on that list? Barry Bonds and Barry Bonds, 2001, 2007. Anyway, you get the idea. Stop with this. Stop with being so arrogant to keep this guy out of the Hall of Fame. Yeah, he was not a great guy. Great. So sick of these sports writers. Art Monk didn't make the NFL Hall of Fame as the guy who retired with the most catches. Like, there's a position called wide receiver. The first task of a wide receiver is to catch the ball. He was the centerpiece of 3 Super Bowls. You kept him out of the Hall of Fame for 9 years because he didn't want to talk to the press. So the Peter Kings of the world, who were Giants beat reporters and had Hall of Fame votes, kept him out. Oh, we thought Gary Clark was more scary than Art Monk. Bruh, if you had all 22 footage, you would have known differently. And Peter King admitted as much to me many years later. Anyway, don't let sports writers fool you as to who is great and who isn't. That's all I'm saying with that. Couple reactions, Kelly. 2, who is that young kid? He's a genius.
No, you and Jeff just look so young and fresh. The whole world in front of you.
Second is, how much have I aged in 4 years? My God. What is happening to me? I'm falling apart. I'm decaying before your eyes. Oh, my God. Anyway, that's the only time we ever go back, once a year.
It's great, man.
Just because why do it new?
Yeah.
I can pick any year. Your Hall of Fame is stupid.
It's always the best example. It's always going to be the best example.
Real quick, because we do this every week of the playoffs, and we figure we do it one more time. These are the 4 kickers that are still going in the championship games. Just a look at their stats. This is just how amazing field goal kicking in or extra points. Nobody, not Mevis, not Myers, not Borregales, not Lutz, has missed a field goal or a field goal try or an extra point in the playoffs yet. They're all perfect. And when you look at the regular season stats, Mevis has only missed once. By the way, that was the second game against the Seahawks, which allowed the Seahawks to push it into overtime and eventually win on a 2-point conversion. But look, there is hardly a discernible difference. Maybe you're like, oh, well, Jason Myers' percentage is not as great as the others. Yeah, but he's still 9 of 12 from 50 plus. It's unbelievable, these numbers with kickers.
Guys are good, man.
Look how amazing these stats are.
Yeah, you brought the guy that we could give the most criticism to, I guess, is Myers, but it's 9 for 12 from 50.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
9.
There's no advantage. They're all great. They're all great. That's for sure. We'll come back. Greg Peterson on college basketball. Vandy loses again, 3 in a row. We'll ask him about that. Wow. We'll ask him about some other stuff going on in his Fab Five and college hoops tonight on A Numbers Game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
You know what? I'm going to blame Andy Reid for cronyism because Matt Nagy stinks. A guy like Jefferson, you got to be a part of the solution, not part of the problem, and he's been part of the problem.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on a numbers game. Circa Resort. Derek Stevens, Shangri-La in the desert. It's Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidler, alongside Sports Savant on Twitter, the awful gambler, said, Gil's Barry Lamar Bonds rant is without a doubt my favorite ANG tradition. Thank you, Sports Savant. Respect the process. As a Rams fan, when I see that video back in November, I bet Rams over Broncos at 40-1. Talking about the Oz Perlman video. Let's go, Stiddy. LOL, respect.
No pressure, Oz. No pressure.
No pressure, Oz. 23-14, huh? By the way, if he nails this, I'm done. I'm officially done. He's a sorcerer.
It's terrifying.
Harold Irving. Once they left the cheater who got cut by the Twins in, they have to have Bonds and Clemens there. He's talking about, of course, Big Papi. Once they let the cheater who got cut by the Twins in, they have to have Bonds and Clemens there. Brian M. On the Hall of Fame revisit to 2022, number 3, is Gil wearing the same shirt? I am not. It is a white shirt, but it is not the same shirt. Spence at Bet a Nickel. I 100% agree that Bonds and Rose and Clemens needs to be in the Hall of Fame. I think where voters struggle is how to discount PEDs. Do you think it should be a consideration for fringe candidates like Andy Pettitte, or should they disregard steroids entirely? Well, that's exactly my point, because Andy Pettitte, I guess, was more forthcoming about it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, okay, we, the arrogant writers, will allow you to come in, because eventually he will, right? But these other guys who didn't admit it to us, we can't have it. Joe Arce, is Altuve getting in? I think so. And this one from Jeremy Pedrati, the real Pedro, 4VT, who says, I'm watching a numbers game, drinking some coffee, and my wife walks in, looks at the TV and sees Kelly and thought it was Seth Rogen. At least you got a stunt double job if you need one, LOL. Love the show, and thanks for all you do. Thank you, and Seth Rogen, ladies and gentlemen, to my left.
I have been getting this a lot.
Have you really?
I would say I've gotten it. It has been the regular, hey, you look like this guy. Has anybody said you look like this guy over the past 4 or 5 years? But the past couple, and I guess it's come with losing weight, there's been a couple times. Matt Brown and I were sitting in the Palazzo High Limit Room 2 weeks ago, and some guy interrupted our conversation. I think Matt's even heard it a couple times by now. Interrupted our conversation. Was like, hey, excuse me, it's just been bothering me for a while. I'm over here listening to you guys talk, and like you're not the guy who, and I'm like, oh, cut him off right. I'm like, Seth Rogen? No, I'm not Seth Rogen. I'm not Seth Rogen. And Matt and I just went back to talking because it's not the first time that has happened.
Canadian tribesman Seth Rogen. I mean, you know what I think it is? I think it's the hair, too.
It's the glasses and the beard. I refuse to believe anything else. Just like glasses and beard.
Good for you.
Could be worse.
That's a step
Seth
up.
Rogen,
That's a step up from who they used to compare you to, right?
Philip Seymour Hoffman I would get every now and then.
It's a step up.
Yeah, it is. That one I actually could see a little bit more, though. I got it. Like the hair.
Philip Seymour Hoffman one day, Seth Rogen the next, Brad Pitt the next.
That's right. That's right. That's the trajectory.
That's right.
Larry called it out perfectly, actually, though. Remember the little kid in Jerry Maguire? Larry, your director, was like, I just always imagined Kelly looked like the grown-up version of that kid. If you saw pictures of me at that age, I was that kid.
The kid who said, hey, do you know the weight of a human head? That kid. That's great.
I just didn't have glasses.
Greg Peterson and I had the same reaction when you told this story off air because you said you were at the Palazzo, but we both read it as you were compared to Enrico Palazzo. Greg Peterson joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on Twitter at gunit_81. Greg, what's happening?
Not too much. One of the great movies of all time, Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen, and I've never been really compared to any celebrities, so I'm a little bit jealous of Kelly right now.
Yeah. You're one of a kind, Greg. That's all it means. You are incomparable, I believe is how they put it. What was the Enrico Palazzo? Hey, look, it's Enrico Palazzo.
Yes.
I love it. All right, let me ask you about a couple college basketball things that happened last night. One, Vandy loses their third in a row. And maybe even more interestingly, UCLA beats Purdue. Are we in what kind of color-coded alert are we in on Vandy and on Purdue?
I'm honestly not too concerned about Purdue having to go from the Midwest out to the West against a, in my opinion, solid UCLA team. UCLA has been really good at home, really bad on the road since joining the Big Ten. You'll hear Mick Cronin complain about how many times he needs to see the Statue of Liberty. I do think that for Purdue, going 7-27 from three and only losing that game by 2 points, I think that they're going to be fine. With Vanderbilt, I think the real concern is, and this went way under the radar, they're missing Frankie Collins right now. Frankie Collins was a heart and soul piece of that defense. He was a guy that just really made the engine go, only gave you about like 8 or so points per game. But ever since he went out with the torn meniscus, is really where this downfall of Vanderbilt has gone. And I think that a lot of people are not realizing just how big of a deal he is for that team. So right now, deal with the torn meniscus, you want to be checking his status, because without him, this Vanderbilt team has not been the same. And it's actually been surprisingly on the offensive end, as the defensive side of things has been a little bit hit or miss for Vanderbilt, but really on offense, it just feels like this team hasn't had the same spark in the last few games.
All right, which brings us to, but just give a sense. By the way, Coast to Coast Hoops is the name of the podcast that Greg does. He's done it for over, how many, 2,000 days in a row, 2,300? What was the latest number?
We're right around about 2,275-ish, give or take a few days.
Every day. Talking to holidays. Doesn't matter what happens in his life. He's traveling. He's still doing it.
Man wakes up early, puts on a tie, and changes the color of that light behind him.
It's incredible.
Just for us, Gil.
It's incredible.
Yes.
Like I don't
Every
wanna,
week.
I don't want to let it just gloss over. Just think about that. Think about doing anything in your life. Kelly, taking a shower. Mm-hmm. You haven't done it for 2,275 straight days.
I have not.
You haven't. I know you haven't. I don't mean to say anything.
Barry Bonds can't get on base that many days in a row because he has an off season.
Right. That's exactly right. Good point. But Greg does a podcast that many days in a row. Give us a sense, for those who haven't heard it, how many plays do you have typically a day?
Well, today we had about 55 games, so we've got a side in total. You're going to be able to get a nice sampling of about 110 plays, give or take.
This kid. Okay, let's narrow it down to Greg's Fab Five. Where do you want to start?
How about if we start out there in the Atlantic 10, where it's been so interesting? Richmond versus Rhode Island. I'm going to be taking a shot here on Richmond. We're seeing them between a 2 to 2.5 point favorite. It's a Rhode Island team that has just really struggled to take care of the ball outside the top 300 in terms of turnovers on a per possession basis. In a nip and tuck spot, this team shoots less than 70% the free throw line, and Richmond, I recognize it's been a little bit hot and cold for them, but they've been shooting right around about 38% from three. Have a Rhode Island team that hasn't been doing the world's greatest job on the glass. With this Richmond team, you essentially got 7 different guys that give you between about 6 to 12 points per contest. Really like this collective, so I laid it here with the Spiders at home.
Okay, and you projected that to be a lot bigger than the 2-point spread. How many points did you have it at?
I felt like Richmond should be a 7-point favorite here, so I got about a 5-point differential.
Wow. Okay. Memphis, Tulsa. Where do you go that way?
Felt like Tulsa should be a 9-point favorite. Right now, they're a 6-point favorite. And with Tulsa, 5th in the country in terms of points scored on a per possession basis. And it's been a story as long as Penny Hardaway has been at Memphis. Team does not take care of the ball. Outside the top 300 in terms of turnovers on a per possession basis. Tulsa, the far better rebounding team as well. Top 60 team in terms of rebound percentage. Memphis allows opponents to grab over 33.5% of their missed shots as an offensive rebound. I think the Tulsa goes out there after it's been a little bit hot and cold for them in American play, gets the job done, willing to lay the points here with the Golden Hurricane.
How many years in a row would it have to take for Memphis to not play defense, for the brass at Memphis to say that's enough of Penny Hardaway? It's probably like 20 years, right? They're not going to get rid of him ever.
They should have. If you compare he to Josh Pastner has actually been a better coach at Memphis than Penny Hardaway. He should already be gone, but for some reason he's not. So I am not sure.
Okay. West Virginia and Arizona State.
I am in on West Virginia here on the money line, and I took a shot on the under with Arizona State. For some reason, they're 39th in the country in terms of points per possession away from home, shoot over 38% from three away from home. At home, that goes down to 27.7%, about 230th in points per possession when they're at home. And you've got a West Virginia team that likes to slow it down, 351st in terms of total possessions per game. 7-footer Harlan Obiana should allow them to be able to win the battle on the boards, really dictate the tempo of this game. So I like here West Virginia on the money line, and I'm going to be in on that total under.
You also like the under in the Virginia Tech-Syracuse game, I believe.
Yes, sir. I am in on this under. You've got a Virginia Tech team that has been a little bit mediocre on the glass and mediocre on defense, but now you've got Toby Luella back, averaging 9 rebounds per game. Donnie Freeman really does elevate the Syracuse team, but also keep in mind with Syracuse, if this is a tight spot, out of 365 Division I teams, they're a bottom 5 free throw shooting team. They shoot less than 63% at the free throw line as a committee. They've been a relatively mid-tempo team, so I feel like this total above 150, especially with Syracuse being a top 30 defense, in terms of points allowed on a per possession basis, is too high, so in on that under.
All right, Nebraska's in action. Miami of Ohio won again last night in overtime to go 20-0. So we still have 3 undefeateds. It's Arizona, Miami of Ohio out of the MAC, and of course, Nebraska, who's taking on UW tonight. How are you playing this?
I'm going to be playing the under because Nebraska dares you to shoot from 3. Opponents take 50.1% of their shots from 3-point range. Guess what Washington doesn't do well? Shoot the 3. They're shooting 30.7% from 3-point range. That goes down below 30% away from home. Now they're without Desmond Claude due to an injury as well. So I think that you get a little bit of a low-scoring game and a game where neither team really gives themselves second and third chances on glass.